Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. This time I am uploading it to YouTube. Hopefully it works. I'm going to create like a private list so that you are able to dub it in French or have subtitles in French. Since I'm no longer paying for CapCut Pro, I have actually ended a lot of my subscriptions. I don't know, it's just I'm reframing and viewing things differently with like paying for subscriptions. It's just a waste. So I don't have that feature anymore where I can write the bilingual subtitles. So that is why I'm going to try and see if I can upload this to YouTube, but in a private list where you can only access it with the link. So that's why this is still for my subscribers. But yeah, so in this video, we are going to be talking about ink, what type of pens to use, and watercolors, and drawing the human form. Because, you know, drawing the human form can be kind of scary. It needs to be symmetrical, and we have this preconceived notion that it needs to be perfect. However, with this book that I just acquired, Making Comics by Lynda Barry, and also just how when I'm looking at art and illustrations and comics, the caricatures that I really love are not the perfect ones. I just love how lively they look and unique. Well, you know, sure, anyone can really learn to be a realist, painter, and artist. It just takes time and dedication, but anyone can do it. But to create those unique characters, that's something that isn't learned. It's just like your signature or how you write or how you talk or your mannerisms. It's part of you. And you can only discover that by not using references, by just sitting down and drawing and painting like you did as a kid. I really do love children's artwork and drawings. And I really think that adults should go back to approaching art in this manner, not expecting perfect results, but just having fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, hello. So today we are going to be using inks and watercolors, and we're going to be drawing human forms for comic books. So I have this one book that I got. It's called Making Comics by Lynda Barry. In it, I recommend it. I really do. There are some wonderful exercises in here. And the first one, actually, from her comic creating class is to create characters in a very simple form. And this is inspired or based on Ivan Brunetti and his cartooning style. And so I thought that we could use that to create. So this sketchbook that I have here is purely for creating comics. I've just been really enjoying it. And see here, I've already been writing down the books that I've been using. This is just, you know, drawing my hand with my son. That was cute. And so here, I actually bought 2 microns. One is a PN, no idea, and another one is a 0.55. So the PN, you can see the nib tip. Oh no, you can't. There you can see it. And that's how, yeah, this is the lines that it creates. And then the 0.05, it's a nice and thin. Now with my drawing nib, you can get a variety of lines. And that's why I like using the drawing nib. So you can do really fine lines. It depends on the nib that you have. So these are very similar to the 0.05. And you can also make thicker lines, even thicker lines if you press hard. And then you can also get this when you're running out of ink, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, so I really love drawing with the drawing nib. So now, what I wanted us to do is to just draw with ink our characters. So when you are drawing, I personally prefer to first draw either with pencil and then the ink and then apply the watercolor. That's the process. So I was thinking we could just come up with some prompts, you could say, of what we are going to be drawing. Whatever comes to mind. Okay, so I have 4 different prompts: a human insect, watermelon eating contest, sailing on a turtle's back, and a caveman salon. So here I have to be careful because it's still wet. You can see it's still wet. Okay. So since I'm just going to do fast drawings, I'm going to use the Micron. So in order to do this, we are just going to be creating frames or thumbnails to draw these. Can be different sizes. Okay, so the first one is human insect. I'm going to do it here. So with Brunetti, what he says is to draw just basic shapes. So I'm going to do that. Circle for the head, and then I'm going to do segments for the body. Not really thinking, just really doodling. It's very liberating to just draw with pen because, I don't know, you can't erase it. So, I like it. And he has noodle arms. I'm just figuring out what type of nose I would like. human insect. Now it is the watermelon eating contest. Again, we're going to be using simple shapes. So I'm going to have a circle here. This. I'll have a hand here with the watermelon piece. And then I'll have the arm so like this. And then I'll have the other one here that's holding a fork. Wow, the sun is actually out. That's nice. If I move my arm, you can see the sun. Okay. Make a chair back here. Okay. Okay, watermelon eating contest. Sailing on a turtle's back. Let's do it over here. I'm gonna do the turtle. And I'll have body here. Do the head here. Big head. What are the arms doing? Maybe and then I'll have okay, and then I'll have the rest of it. rest of the shell. Feet. Here. I can't see them. They're in the water. We'll do the sun here in the corner. And this is without looking at references. We're just having some fun. Maybe I'll draw big fish. Okay, and now the final one is Caveman Salon. Okay, so I don't know what they look like, but it's like this machine thing where you dry your hair. I don't know. And we'll have the caveman here. You can see part of his head. Give him this frizzy hair, and we'll give him big eyebrows. Figures. We'll have one hand like this, the other hand like this. It's a caveman, so he's wearing one of these things, and we'll have one leg. And then the other leg. Okay. This is like on the thingy here. What else? We can have posters in the background. It's like someone with like really great hair, supposedly. Okay, we can have, I don't know, like a shelf with bottles. Okay. All right, so human insect, watermelon, eating contest, and this is sailing on a turtle's back, and then this one is Caveman Salon. Cool. Okay, so this is waterproof ink. You always need to pay attention to what pens you're buying to make sure that they're waterproof. This is also waterproof. But the problem is, and I'm going to show you now, I'll do it on this page, is if I put paint down and then I apply, it'll spread. Let me grab my paintbrushes. And so that's why I'm recommending you do first ink. I'm just gonna do a light color so we can see. Okay, so I'll leave that there. I will put, as you can see, it doesn't spread. This I painted, or I drew, really, I think like a day or two ago. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll show you what happens when I apply ink on top of it. I'll do another color as well. Let's do like a red. Okay. And this is another ink material that I would recommend. This is a Pentel paintbrush, and this is just gray. Yeah, Pentel. And this is gray, and you can do really fine lines. And to get these really fine lines with these paintbrushes, you need to create a support on the page with your knuckles here, right? And you keep it completely parallel to the page and just drag the tip of the brush, and you really need to like almost not touch it. And the thing with this is that you just can create these beautiful shapes with it. Yeah, so, and it's a really nice gray. Really, really, really nice gray. So I would recommend getting this. So my top recommendations would be to get this Micron PN, this Pentel brush pen. You can also get in the permanent black, and a drawing nib. And the ink that I use is carbon ink from Platinum. Really great ink. I completely recommend this ink. Or Herbin. Herbin is another really good brand. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll come back. Okay, so it's dry now, completely dry now. And I was going to try different inks on top of this. So I will come closer to show you the results, but you can see outside it's not fraying out, and here it expands the line. So that's with the drawing nib with this ink. I'm just washing it off, drying it so it doesn't get rusty. Now let's try with the PN Micron. That one seems to be okay. And with the 5, same. I'm going to do with the red. There's a little bit of a difference, but not much. Let me come closer so I can show you guys. Yeah, so you can see here with the ink, it expands more. Whoa, I touched it. And then here, these seem to be fine, so. So now let's do it the opposite way. Now with these, I'm just going to add a little bit of color. And so we can see what happens if I draw first with the ink and then add watercolors. So I'm just going to do nothing major, just a little bit. And the sketchbook that I'm using is Royal Talons. I still love these sketchbooks. They're so affordable. I love the color of the paper. They take all types of materials. And I mean, I've had some bad batches of these sketchbooks that they come with like imperfections in the paper, but this one is fine. And since I'm just, using it for comics and ink work, it wasn't a big deal. So the downside of putting ink is that if you paint over it, it kind of dulls the ink color. So, like here you can see A little bit of brown. If I remove, okay, let me see what color. The sun came back. Yeah, so with the more opaque paints that I have here, like the Naples yellow or this like peachy color, creamy, pinky, light pink color, it opaques a bit the black line. Do a different blue for the sky. This blue that I just used is a Schmincke granulated blue. I really love it. It's one of my favorites. Let's do the sun. And let's do the umbrella like a purple. And I love this purple as well. There. Let's do orange. Okay, at the table, brown. Oops. Cool. So it works fine that way, and I just like to draw in pen. Well, this sketchbook I'm only drawing in pen, and I would actually recommend that. I would recommend that you get a cheap sketchbook, you get the Micron PN, and draw, and just do simple shapes. So with the human, you can just do, let's do here. You can just do the head as a circle, you can add a neck, and then you can have here the torso, right? With the pelvis. And then here you can have the legs. And then the foot. So here this side would be straight and this side would come out like this, right? Here this is more curved. Goes up like this, maybe even more, right? Then you would have here the arms, like this and like that, right? You can even just start out with a stick figure. and you can add as you go. And you can just give it some volume. This is a comic, so you can draw it however you want. And as we saw in the previous video, there are different ways of drawing. It doesn't need to be this beautiful, immaculate type of drawing, right? You can, of course, look at references, and then you can draw from reference. And, you know, you can create more of a realistic portrayal of the human body, most definitely. No one is telling you not to. But I would recommend, as an exercise, just so you get more comfortable with drawing, that you just draw simple figures. The most simple figure is a head and a body. And then you add arms that are flexible and can go anywhere. And the same with the feet. Yeah. And then you can add details. So that's the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.